Good day, everyone, and we are Group 4, and we'll be presenting the second part of our paper about optimizing Amul's supply chain for export to Canada. Here are our members, yours truly, I'm Katrina, Divya, Muhammad, and Amit. Let's start with a company overview. Amul, officially known as Anand Milk Union Limited, is India's largest dairy cooperative and a key player in the global dairy industry. Established in 1946, Amul operates under GCMMF and has a strong domestic and international presence, with a turnover of approximately 9.2 billion. Amul has expanded its operations into global markets, including the United States, Gulf countries, and Australia. Given the increasing demand of ethnic dairy products among Canada's multicultural population, Amul seeks to optimize its supply chain to enhance efficiency and profitability in exporting its dairy and ready-to-eat food products to Canada. Here is our research question. How can Amul optimize its supply chain to enhance the efficiency and profitability of exporting its packaged and ready-to-eat food products from India to Canada? For our methodology, this research follows a qualitative approach combining primary and secondary data sources. Primary data from interview with key stockholder at Amul, head of supply chain and logistics. Additionally, secondary data will be obtained from supply chain reports, government trade policies, and academic studies related to food export logistics and international trade challenges. The study will evaluate Amul's current export model, logistics trends, and compliance with Canada's regulations using a comparative analysis with best practice in the global dairy export sector. For our problem statement, Amul faces challenges in optimizing its supply chain for exporting packaged and ready-to-eat food products to Canada, leading to inefficiencies and increased operational costs. These inefficiencies affect timely product delivery, compliance with Canada regulations, and overall market competitiveness. So the root causes are first, logistical inefficiencies, inadequate cold storage facilities, shipping delays, and high transportation costs. Second is regulatory hurdles. Strict Canadian food safety and labeling standards increase compliance complexity. And third is supply chain disruption. External factors such as fluctuating demand, geopolitical tensions, and supplier constraints impact consistency. Here are our key preliminary recommendations. First is implement advanced supply chain management software. Enhances tracking, inventory control, and shipment accuracy to mitigate inefficiencies. Second is streamline regulatory compliance processes. Invest in automated compliance system to ensure adherence to Canadian import requirements. Third is strengthen partnerships with logistics providers. Collaborate with Canadian distribution network to improve last-minute delivery efficiency and reduce transit delays. Fourth is optimize cold storage and distribution centers. Establish temperature controlled storage facilities to maintain product quality and extend shelf life. And lastly, develop a contingency plan for market fluctuation. Implement risk assessment model to navigate demand fluctuation and mitigate financial risk.
Hi, my name is Divya, and we will discuss the context and methodology here. To begin with, I'll give you a brief about the company and interviewee background. So, as you know, the company is Amul and it has a extensive wide range of products, dairy products, in which includes butter, cheese, um, and milk and other RTE products. And to give you a brief about interviewee, his name is Amit Thakur and he's the head of supply chain and logistics department. He has about 18 years of experience and he's associated with the company for such long duration on different roles and responsibilities. The methodology we used was interviewing Amit Thakur for about 40 minutes, and we also took a virtual tour of the company. So during the interview, all the members were involved, and we covered regulatory challenges, logistical barriers, and how the company should expand its market and what are its strategies. And during the virtual tour, we discussed the storage conditions, the temperature, and distribution. We also have secondary data sources, which are trade reports and industry analysis. We did market research and competitor analysis as well. So, for the competitor analysis and market research, we studied the market entry strategies of competitors like Nestle, Britannia, how they entered in Canada, and we reviewed demand patterns for Indian RTE products among the ethnic grocery stores and mainstream supermarkets. We will also discuss how to import and export from India to Canada. We did a research about production and quality control. We studied regulatory compliance and documentation, international shipping and custom clearance, and distribution and retail sales. Uh, Now we will study the comparison of viewpoints. We have stakeholders, the key concerns, and the proposed solutions here. So the first key stakeholder would be Amul supply chain team. Their key concern is the third party logistics delay. When we do a third party shipping, there could be delays. So that's the key concern. This proposed solution here would be to invest in the cold storage partnership in Canada. Then we have export compliance officer as a stakeholder, and the key concern here would be frequent labeling issues with CFIA. And to combat this, we have proposed a solution to implement automated compliance checks before shipment. Then there is competitor analysis. Competitors use local production to avoid high tariffs, and the solution for this could be we can consider contract manufacturing in Canada. To elaborate more on the solutions, we we did a little bit of more uh, dig deeping into that, and we found that we have to strengthen cold chain partnership that would maintain the product quality, and we can use advanced IoT sponsors during shipment, which would help track the temperature in real time. Then automated labeling and compliance process to avoid rejections. Then we can explore contract manufacturing in Canada to that would lower the costs like preferential trade agreements. And we can expand to retail partnerships with major Canadian supermarkets like Walmart and Costco. It would Amul could also launch digital campaigns which would target the natives of this country who are interested in other cuisines from across the globe. The challenges are, like I mentioned, the cold chain logistics issue, regulatory hurdles, high cost, limited mainstream markets. Our research question is how Amul faces supply chain inefficiencies and compliance hurdles while exporting packaged and ready to eat food products to Canada, resulting in increased operational costs, delayed shipments, and limited market penetration.
Well, now I will explain the root cause analysis in which the supply chain inefficiencies and compliances are the effect. It's also called the effect and cause diagram, and this is the effect, and the other are the causes of this effect. First one is logistic, where we are facing with cold storage partnership shipping in the and shipping delays, and next one is regulation complex. CFIA compliance like is complicated, and the mistakes lead to product to compliance and to compliance errors or the product rejections, and the market analysis in which like the company are mostly available in authentic stores, and but mainstream or supermarket don't carry them a lot. And lastly is the cost factor, high transportation store and storage and the import cost affecting it a lot. So now I will explain like why root cause is like why it's happening. So why its delivery is inefficiency in delivery, because not enough cold storage and and last mile delivery partnership. Why product rejected by CFIA, because labeling errors and allergens disclosures issues. Why are cost high, like why it's expensive. So like it will be high import tariffs and logistic expenses, and why its market for company market access is limited because lack of partnership with major retailers, and the why is the product visibility is low, because it's only focus on authentic grocery stores without targeting the digital market for wider audience reach, and the new customers as well. Here in this like Patriota chart, which shows like 20%, 80% mistakes can be found in 20% of inefficiencies. Like 80% inefficiencies stem from regulatory hurdles, logistic and delays, and limited market access in this. Well, now in this slide, I will talk about the strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. And the strength, we like the strong brand presence among the Indian stores, extensive product range, like they have a lot of range in the dairy products, and the robust supply chain infrastructure in India. And the weakness is like inadequate cold chains logistic in Canada, and compliance error with the CFIA regulations, and lastly limited penetration in the mainstream Canadian supermarket. What are the opportunities the company can have? Like growing demand for ethnic and RTE foods in Canada, potential for partnership with major Canadian retailers and chains, leverage digital platforms to expand brand awareness, like the lot of uh, digital platforms which can help to improve the brand awareness. And lastly, the threats like the stringent Canadian import regulations, and like the hard and it's difficult Canadian import regulation, high competition from established local and global brands potential, and the next one is the potential geopolitical trade barriers affecting the supply chains among them. Thank you. Well, no, I will explain the primary recommendations, and the first one is cold chain collaboration. As Amul deal with the dairy products, maintain the right temperature during the storage and transportation is quite crucial, and it's really important. Like with the partnering with the cold storage suppliers in Canada can be we will ensure the products stay fresh and high quality at all the times. And next one is automation, regulation and compliance. In this we will the using by using the automated system to track the manage and compliance will save the time, and as well as it reduce the errors or mistakes, and it will increase the streamline process smoothly. And next one is renewable packaging. So in this consumer, like nowadays consumer are becoming more eco-conscious, and they are switching to sustainable packaging, which will not only reduce the environmental impact but also appeal the broader audience of the consumers. So we will go for this. And this is another. And next one is the we put for like the market growth. In this Amul should look at the expanding in retail presence, and by connecting with more grocery stores and distributions. And lastly, local production, setting up with the manufacturing in Canada, could which will help lower the cost, as well as it will be helpful to avoid the import restrictions, like US put restriction, and some countries can put in any time, and it will also helpful for supply chain management more efficiently. Now the next one is the next steps. In the next steps, establish alliance with cold storage suppliers in Canada to keep the supply chain smooth and reliable. And test next is test system that helps for compliance automatically to help regulations without no manual too much manual work. And create and evaluate environmental friendly packaging to align with sustainable trends and customer expectation, that will be help. And For retail expansion, the company needs to get in touch with Canadian grocery chains, like the expand retail availability and the increase the presence of the brand, and do feasibility assessment on Canadian contract manufacturing in Canada would be like cost effective, and it will be a strategic move. And in conclusion, by putting all these incentives into actions, Amul will be able to increase the efficiency of supply chain and as well as decrease its expense and broaden its appeal to consumers in Canada, which will ensure company continue progress over the long duration. And in Canada, it will be cost effective as well as it will be a strategic move. Thank you.
That ends our presentation, and thank you everyone for listening.